We are live on Facebook and YouTube. A good afternoon to you all. May I kindly request to please have your cameras on with me today. Before we begin, let us all put ourselves in the presence of our Lord for our invocation.
Let us pray. Almighty God, maker of heaven and earth, you are good and you created all things that are good. We give thanks to you because out of your steadfast love, we can gather in this place today safely and be part of this important event. We pray that you will give us the strength and the resolve to continue doing good to others and excel in the works that we do. Help us not just to be excellent in our jobs, but to excel in how to treat people in accordance with your goodness and your unfailing love. Gracious Father, may the abundance of your blessings be experienced by everyone present here and be upon your beloved Philippine College of Criminology. We pray all this in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
And now for the Philippine National Anthem.
Lupang hirap ng pag-ibig sa malulunod, pinakasisi sa nagtatapos sa sipot at sa langit ang walang lahat sa pagdayang nilamaan ang isang pagkawan ay nalagay araw ng ilang pamay ng tinig tuwa ng araw ng pagkakit
To be followed by the PCCR hymn.
Simply pride and carry joyous harmony. For Philippine College of Criminology. Wherever we are, we'll be united with fidelity. We are proud of our loyalty. From our portals everywhere, successful graduates. Of proven worth and reputation spread. Let us follow their footsteps. So the whole world can know. Every school is always on the go. We sing together, we cross the ranks forever. We must remember, this is our alma mater. We hold in high esteem, our achievements and our friends. Philippine College of Criminology. We sing our heart to thee. We sing together. We cross the ranks forever. We must remember, this is our alma mater. We hold in high esteem our achievements and our fame. The Philippine College of Criminology. We sing our today.
It is absolutely great to have everyone here this afternoon. My name is John Jake Servillian, and it is my honor to be your host for this afternoon. First and foremost, before we set the tone for our webinar, kindly scan or screenshot the QR code on your screen for your attendance today. This will be verified vis-a-vis with your Google Meet attendance. We'll be giving everyone 1 minute. And it's just a reminder that we are live on Facebook and YouTube. So let's make this a magnificent webinar today. Still wait for another 30 seconds for everybody to sign in for your attendance. Thank you for that, ma'am and sir. And just a few reminders. Please mute your microphone when not speaking. Turn on your camera if you're comfortable. It helps everyone feel more connected. And use chat for questions or comments throughout the presentation. My acknowledgement goes out to the PCCR faculty, PCCR management, esteemed guests, and dear students. It is my honor to introduce Dean Gapelin M. Casio, the Dean of the Philippine College of Criminology, College of Criminal Justice, who has been a driving force in advancing criminology education. Under Dean Gay's leadership, the faculty has expanded its focus on both the theoretical and practical aspects of criminology, preparing students to address the complex challenges within criminal justice, law enforcement, and social policy. With a passion for fostering academic excellence and a commitment to shaping the next generation of criminology professionals, Dean Gay has played a key role in enhancing the academic experience and supporting impactful research. We are excited to hear Dean Gay's opening remarks today as we kick off this engaging and informative session. Please join me in welcoming Dean Gay, a virtual round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Batang. Good afternoon also to our colleagues session in the online or virtual platform and the participants as well in this webinar. It is my honor and privilege to extend a warm welcome to each of you today's webinar, held in celebration of the ever first Philippine Criminology Week. This historic occasion underscores our commitment to advancing the field of criminology, especially as we grapple with the evolving landscape of technology-based crimes. We are indeed fortunate to have with us a distinguished expert in this field, Dr. Latha, Director for Cyber Forensics and Information Security and Professor in the Department of Criminology at the University of Madras. Dr. Latha's expertise and vast experience will offer invaluable insights into the complex issues and challenges that technology-based crimes present today. As our society becomes increasingly digital, the need for effective responses to cyber threats, digital forensics, and information security has never been more pressing. This webinar will serve as a crucial platform for us to deepen our understanding of these issues, explore the challenges they pose, and equip ourselves with knowledge that will be instrumental in our efforts to uphold justice and safeguard the public. Once again, welcome to everyone and thank you for joining us in this timely and significant discussion. We look forward to an engaging and enlightening session with Dr. Latha, and may today's dialogue inspire and empower us all in our shared mission of fostering a safer and more resilient digital landscape. Thank you, and I hope you find this session both insightful and impactful.
Thank you, Dean Gay, for such an inspiring, motivating, and captivating message to us. Once again, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. A big shout out to our viewers right now. And for the introduction of our guest speaker, our program chair of the CCJ, Dr. Sharina Tantoko Peralta. A round of applause.
Thanks, John. Great morning to each and everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for today. Dr. S. Latha is an accomplished academician and practitioner in the field of criminology, serving as the director of the Center of Forensic Science or Cyber Forensic and Information Security and a professor in the Department of Criminology at the University of Madras. She possesses over 19 years of teaching experience and 26 years of research expertise. Dr. Latha earned her PhD with a focus on compensation for victims of motor vehicle accidents, alongside an MA in criminology and Master of Science in Cyber Forensics and Information Security from the University of Madras. Her research interests encompass a wide range of topics, including cybercrimes, digital forensics, victimology, restorative justice, and criminal psychology. She has been recognized with several prestigious awards, such as the Best Researcher Award from the University of Madras for 2 consecutive years, and a prof or a professor, being the professor from Srivatsa Award for her contributions for teaching and research in criminology. In addition to her extensive publication record, which includes 12 books and numerous articles, Dr. Lata has successfully led and participated in various national and international research projects. Notably, she has consulted on drafting national policies related to online trafficking and online safety for children, and has directed projects focusing on the aftercare of prisoners and the challenges faced by children in care. Dr. Latha is actively involved in organizing and participating in conferences, workshops, and training sessions that aimed at the crime prevention and cyber safety. Her outreach efforts extend to numerous universities and institutions, where she conducts motivational skills, motivational talks, and awareness sessions on topics such as social media crime prevention and women's empowerment. As a member of various professional organizations, including the Asian Criminological Society and the Indian Society of Criminology, she continues to contribute significantly to the advancement of criminological research and education. Ladies and gentlemen, I am now introducing to you, let us all welcome our guest speaker for today, Dr. S. Latha. A round of applause, everyone.
So I'm
Good morning.
good morning, John. First and foremost, let me thank the Philippines College of Criminology for giving this opportunity to be with you in this a very fresh morning. Now in India, it is actually 10:15 a.m. So in a great morning, and for you it is afternoon, to spend valuable time on a topic which is very pertinent across the globe. I'm sorry for my throat. After my previous visit to Philippines, I have a kind of throat issue from which I'm trying to recover. My time in Philippines during June was so fabulous. I could meet a lot of experts, friends from Philippines College of Criminology and other criminologists, and it was a great time I had. And I started loving Philippines for the way it treated us and for the wonderful human beings I have come across. Thank you once again for giving this opportunity to me to deliver a lecture on technology based crimes, issues, and challenges. I also thank the Dean, the Principal, the Management, Miss Camila, and everyone, Miss Sharina, who is hosting this event in a very grand manner and with also meticulous efforts. So, moving on to this topic, let me actually take a minute to share my PowerPoint for you to understand what is happening globally in cybercrime or technology based crime and how we can try to equip ourselves to prevent ourselves from the crime. See, the first and foremost thing is like preventing ourselves. If you want to be an efficient criminologist, first you have to prevent yourself from all these crimes. Then you have to help preventing these crimes across the globe, in your country, among your women and children, and also your colleagues. So let us have a brief idea today on what is world revolving around with the cybercrime, what are the various types of crimes happening, how can we handle them, and how actually we can try to prevent ourselves from these crimes. So I will just share some leading points through my PowerPoint. Hope that will help you for more understanding. Is this visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Hope the slide is moving. Is the slide moving for you?
At the moment, ma'am, it's still stopped at types of cyber crimes right now.
Oh, one second.
There you go. Now it's color red. It did move.
Well, so technology is a kind of boon. Technology is advancing every day. So definitely we can gain lot of positive and advantage. And what is there in the internet today? For example, if you take in the internet in 2000, especially in India, we had around 850 million Indians are using the internet. And there was only one type of intermediary. For example, when the technology started, there were only few intermediaries who gave connectivity to the entire world. But now we have n number of intermediaries who are giving various kinds of technology based services like e-commerce services, digital media services, social media services. Now presently artificial intelligence services are becoming a rampant thing now. Like whatever you want to do, the artificial intelligent technology will make it for you. And we have a lot of OTT platforms like your YouTube channel, your Instagram, your Facebook pages, your Netflix, your streaming platforms. So all the things are happening. And the internet is not very limited. It is only accessible by those people who have internet. You can use the Wi-Fi of the railway station free. You can use the Wi-Fi of the airport free. So what was internet when it was invented in 2000 was different than what is there now. Of course, lot of growths, lot of knowledge, lot of sharing, lot of learning from internet. So all these things are happening. And how the space is used for good, like internet was used for good things when actually it was started. But now the more important thing is, as the internet is used for good things, it is also used for criminalities and illegalities. So that is one point which we have to be aware. I can even say all the conventional forms of crimes. I will be explaining you about the types of crimes too. But all the conventional forms of crimes have now moved on to the cyberspace. Being the head of the cybercrime department in Madras University and a criminologist who teach cybercrime in my own department, I do face lot of reports against cybercrime issues. People come to me to report cybercrime. We do try to help them to solve it or assist them to solve in a better manner. So the day by day, the reporting of cybercrime is also increasing, and the rate of cybercrime also is increasing. And all the traditional forms of crimes, for example, theft. Theft was one of the oldest form of crime, but now theft has moved on to the cyberspace. Like burglary. Burglary was one of the oldest crime. Now the online burglary is becoming the buzzword in Western countries. So all the traditional crimes have now moved on to the cyberspace. So we have to be very careful in dealing with cyberspace because we do have lot of cyber online predators sitting inside the computer to watch you, to commit some crime against you, and to commit some crime against your organization, and also to commit crime against your family members. So we have to use it very carefully. So one of the reason I always take this topic as lecture in many places is people use all the technologies
Dr.
within
Lata.
them. Yes, yes.
Excuse me. May I know which are you? Oh, there you go. The slides are moving. We thought that the slides were still on standby. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, is it not moving?
It's moving now, ma'am. It's good. We can see that we are on slide 2 at the moment.
Yeah, we are on slide 2 only.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, doctor.
Yeah. So, like, lot of things are happening in the cyberspace. So we have to be very careful. So that is how the development of internet is from 2000 till now, right? So uh, I'm moving to the next slide. Hopefully, if you can. Yes. So it takes a village to raise a child. That is a very common proverb, right?
Uh,
For a child
Dr.
to
Lata, it didn't move. It didn't move to the slide number 3.
it didn't move. But here
There
the
you go.
screen
Now
is
it moved. It has moved now, Dr. Lata. We are on. It takes a village to raise a child.
yes. So, like there's a very famous proverb: if you want to raise a child, it takes a village to go behind the child. But now, the recent proverb among the police and the technicians is like, in order to find a cybercrime, we have to go beyond the entire world. The entire world has to contribute to find what has become in a cyberspace in a fraction of second. For example, if somebody sitting in Russia spreads a virus which is very harmful, or if somebody sitting in US spreads a ransomware which is actually harmful for many people, the entire world has to run behind. In fact, you could have come across a lot of cases where in the recent past the Facebook went down, and then like Google went down, Gmail went down. So a lot of such attacks are actually happening. So it takes the entire police force to run behind the cybercrime to prevent and also to detect the cybercrime. Okay, so like the number of cyber crimes is becoming increased in manifold. I can even say it is increasing 200% every year. I can't say that the crimes are increasing, but the reporting and awareness among the people also increasing. So we actually get more cyber crimes reported, and the number of cyber crimes reported are, huge every day compared to normal crimes. For example, I can say, I don't know how many Philippine people know that the first crime reported in Philippines in cybercrime, or first conviction which happened in Philippines was in the year 2005. When India came out with Information Technology Act in 2004, we also had the first crime reported in the year 2005. So in Philippine also, you had the first crime reported and convicted in the year 2005. That was for hacking. A person called JJ Maria Ginar, he actually hacked the website of government with having the website gov.ph. So he hacked the website, and in punishment to that, he was actually sent to jail. So he was convicted in 2005 September. Manila MTC branch with 14 judge, they actually convicted this person. And now, if you take the status of, cybercrimes in Philippines, it says from July 2022 till now, the most common cyber crimes or technology based crimes reported in Philippines is online scam. Online scam is one of the buzzword across the world. So from July 1, 2022 to January 31, 2024, in Philippines, totally 15,937 online scams were reported, which is said to be the highest number of cyber crimes in Philippines. But I'm asking my friends who are sitting here, is this the right number? Like 15,000 crimes happened in the span of 2 years. Do you think that it is the right number of crimes? I can say from my experience, in any part of the world, the number of cyber crimes reported is only not more than 10% on what is actually happening. One way or other way, every one of us become a victim of cybercrime every day. And only 1 in 8 cases is get detected, and 1 in thousands of cases or crores of cases are filed in the police with the first information report. So we have to give lot of importance in understanding cybercrime. And moving on, like cybercrime or technology based crime is nothing but any crime that happens in technology by the use of technology or by attacking the technology. Similarly, cybercrime is a crime which is committed against a computer or a cyberspace or internet or any added gadget to your cyberspace to commit a crime using that particular gadget, or committing a crime against the gadget. Only the names are changing. For example, we started with computer crime when there was only one standalone computer. But now we have more number of computers connected. So we have synonymous terms like computer crime, cyber crime, digital crime, technology based crime, as the technology keeps changing by using the cyberspace. So the names are changing. But the ultimate thing is somebody commits a crime against a technology or by using a technology. So that is the common definition for technology based crime or cyber crimes. And when you classify cyber crimes or technology based crimes, we can classify them into cyber crimes against property. That is, any individuals, gadgets or computers or networks are attacked by individuals or group of individuals for some gain or even for fun. So that is called cyber crimes against property. And cyber crimes against person, using the cyberspace, uh, we commit a crime against a person. And if it is cyber crimes against organization, that is different from the routine crimes. Like routine crimes normally do not happen much against organizations. But in the case of cyber crime, lot of crimes are happening only against organizations, which may be government organization, non-governmental, industry, corporate, or any type of establishment which is working for some cause. So anybody can actually attack organizations also for the purpose of gaining money, gaining reputation, and damaging. I'll tell you one thing. One of the hospitals in a very popular country, it got attacked recently. And what happened out of it? Like, is it a very easy thing to attack a hospital's records or hospital's computers? And what happened in that case is that particular hospital was using robotic technology to commit to perform surgeries. And you know what happened? The competitive hospital, they attacked this particular hospital in order to perform the surgery bad. For example, that robo machine which was connected to a server was attacked by a virus that actually, manipulated with the surgery methodology, and because of that, the patient died. So it is not easy to say just a virus attack. Virus is common for all of us, but when it comes to organizations or industries, virus attack or ransomware attack is not a simple thing. It can create lot of damages. So every industry needs awareness on cybercrime, including police missionary, colleges, universities, hospitals, or any kind of service provider. They need to be now aware on cyber safety measures. So what happened in the hospital might happen in your own college also. Your college records can be hacked by anyone. It can be sold. Now data is the primary money making body in the world. So your data can be sold to anyone. Your private records can be sold to anyone. So like lot of crimes also can happen against the organizations. So while I speak this, if anybody believes that 100% cyber security is possible, my friends, I am actually unhappy to say it is not possible to have 100% cyber security, right? If you feel I have a gadget which is safer, people used to say, see, I have this phone, this is highly secure, so I can use. Or I have this gadget, I'm a very high technology user, so I'm very safe. If you keep saying that, friends, you also have to be aware that one day you can also be attacked. 100% cyber security or 100% technology guarding is not possible, because it involves two things. The cyber crime or cyberspace involves two things. One is technology, and the second one is human. You can prevent the technology from committing crime, but you can't prevent human beings who created the technology from preventing crime. So, when you want to study about technology based crime or cyber crime, you have to study two things. One is the technology, the other one is the human. And the human aspect is more taught in your college, I guess. I hope you all study on cyber crime behavior, cyber criminals' motivations, and you also study cybercrime psychology. You know, you have to study human beings to prevent any crime. And in the case of cybercrime and technology based crime also, you have to study about both the technology and the human. So is it so difficult to study technology for me to prevent cybercrime or technology based crime? Any one of you can actually study. People used to ask me, ma'am, can I specialize in cyber security? Can I specialize in technology based security? Can I learn the technology easily? Definitely, all of you can study cyber security, even if you don't know much of technology or much of programming language. At least basics of cyber security, all of you can actually specialize. So, if anybody thinks 100% cyber security is possible, my friends, it is not possible. So, the first, I mean, tip which I will give you in this session is like in the case of cybercrime, prevention is better than cure. So you try to prevent yourself to the maximum than actually lamenting later that it happens to you. Right. So why do we study about this technology based crimes, cyber crimes so rampantly? See, we are studying about more crimes, right? Is there any university to teach how to prevent theft? Is there any university to teach how to prevent terrorism? Is there any university to teach how to prevent organized crime? But we do have departments to teach you cyber security, to teach you cyber forensics. Why is that we are giving so much of importance to technology based crimes and cyber security these years across the globe? If you take in Tamil Nadu itself, which is a part of India, we have more than 200 colleges teaching cyber security and digital forensics. So, what is the need? Because the rampant use of cyberspace and technology is increasing, but it also has unique characteristics which makes us to study more importantly. For example, anonymity. The one of the unique characteristics of technology-based crime and cybercrime is anonymity. Like you don't know who is sitting on the other side. Now I don't know. I think there are more than 120 people in this particular conference hall. But how do I know who is the person? Whether can I validate that he is the person who is sitting on the other side? So anonymity, you don't even know if whether a dog is sitting on the other side or a kind of camel is sitting on the other side. You don't know. You believe that this is Dr. Latha speaking, and I believe that all of you are from PCCR, who is trying to specialize in criminology. So one of the greatest challenges in the case of cyber security, other than other crimes, for example, if it is chain snatching, if it is going to be a theft, if it is going to be a robbery, you at least bare minimum know which kind of person have involved in that crime. Somebody can identify saying that that was a dark man or a fair man or a fair woman with a shorter height or longer height or having this much of characteristics was trying to perform this crime. But in the case of cybercrime, you can't predict what kind of person actually committed a crime. You will not believe. You don't need knowledge of education. For example, I don't need graduation, undergraduation, or post graduation to commit a crime. Most of the time, the youngsters who make fun, they try to commit crime, and many of them who don't even have gone to college, they do commit crime. So it is not education. This is one of the crime which is beyond gender, which is beyond education, which is beyond age. Anybody can commit, and anybody can become victimized also. For example, even a child can become a victim of cybercrime, and even an elderly person can become a victim of a cybercrime. So this unique characteristic make us to learn more about cybercrime and give importance to learn about its prevention. And another unique characteristics is unrecognizable long time harassment. See, for example, if you lose your money while walking on a road, the next day when you go on the road, what will you do? You will try to prevent yourself by not taking any money while you're traveling on the road, or at least you will travel with people when you feel safe that you can't be looted. But in the case of cybercrime, you don't even know that you're actually harassed or looted, or actually some crime is happening in the cyberspace for a long time. You can actually get repeatedly victimized. A person can repeatedly offend on you. Like a person can commit multiple crimes on you. You can, like more number of times you can become a victim. So it is possible. That is not possible in other types of crimes. and jurisdictional issues. For example, if some crime happens in Philippines and they find that it is from other country it has happened, so the police has lot of challenges to investigate that crime. I have n number of examples where, because of jurisdictional issues, lot of crimes go undetected. Every country has its policy. Of course, we have multilateral treatments, we have agreements before the countries, but many times it don't work, and jurisdictional issues become a major challenge in investigating these crimes. And this is one of the low cost online crime. Even to commit a chain snatching, a criminal has to spend money to target his victims. Like he has to place to find his target, for which he has to pay some penny of money to travel by bus, to travel by his bike, or whatsoever. But this online crime is highly low cost. I can sit and commit this crime from my home, from my neighbor's Wi Fi. I can hack my neighbor's Wi Fi. I can hack my college's Wi Fi. I can use my college's Wi Fi and IP address to commit a crime sitting in my college, sitting at my room. So it is highly low cost online crime where the criminal no need to invest much of his time and much of his money, right? And one person sitting inside the computer can actually commit multiple victimization. You have lot of examples. For example, the first virus which came into the world is I love you virus, that came in the world in 1990s. That was the first virus across the world. And one fine morning, when all of us woke, we saw a message in our computer showing I love you. That is called I love you virus. So this allowed us not to open our computer. So if we want to open our computer, we have to pay ransomware to the person who created this virus. Correct? So one person sitting in the corner of a part of the world can actually create multiple victims in just a fraction of time. It is not only for virus or worms, it is also for many crimes against women, against children, against elderly persons, and against organizations. Being sitting in a place, I can commit multiple crimes against multiple organizations, which is not possible in any other crime. Even in genocide, genocide is said to be one of the worst form of crime across the globe. Like you're trying to kill a set of, a group of people who belong to a race, right? Even that can be committed only in hundreds or only in thousands. Even a bomb blast actually can kill only few hundred of people. But sitting in cyberspace, I can actually target many people. I can send lot of virus bombs, I can send lot of worms, and I can commit any crime multiply, even among thousands, lakhs, and even, like you can say, millions of people at single point of click. So that makes this crime very unique, and that is the reason in the coming days we have to give lot of importance to prevent and to know about this crime. And also in many cases, unlike other crimes, victims are not revealed. For example, if it is a rape, if it is a chain snatching, if it is a child abuse, we know who is the victim. But in many of the cases in cybercrime, victims do not feel themselves as victims. I don't know how many of you check your gadgets every day to know whether you are becoming a victim of any of the cybercrime, including data theft. Data theft is one of the common cybercrime. I will explain you in my lecture. I don't even know how many of you check your gadgets. I'm sure all of you are using your gadgets, right? I don't think anyone is going to be without a smartphone in this particular conference, right? Maybe if it is offline session, I can have more interaction. But being online, I'll speak on my own. Like, I don't know how many of you do check your gadgets on everyday basis to know whether you have got compromised, whether your mobile phone or gadgets have the symptoms of you being compromised. Do you ever know that there are some symptoms your gadgets will show to make you understand that your data is actually stolen, you are being spied, or your camera is on even when you have switched off your camera? How many of you check often whether your location is actually turned off? You know, having your location turned on every minute is not actually advisable. You have to turn on your location in your gadget only when you need it, for example, to book a taxi or to book a food. So only those times you're supposed to switch on your location, and after that you have to switch off your location to safeguard yourself in the cyberspace, right? But how many of you check whether your location is switched on all the time? How many of you check every day that whether your camera is turned on, right? You no need to turn on your camera. Even if you don't turn on your camera, there are possibilities that the spywares can open your camera even when your phone is under the switched off mode. Even if you have kept your phone switched off, your camera can be kept open by a spyware. But how many of us check whether our camera is open, whether a location is open, or what are the symptoms? As we get some fever, we get a lot of symptoms, right? We get body temperature rise, we get sweating, we get cold. So similarly, your gadget also will show a lot of symptoms, but we don't even follow that to know, because we use technology, but we don't know how to safeguard ourselves from technology, right? So because of this, many times victims are not revealed because they themselves do not know that they are victimized. And second thing, many of the victims do not go and complain. So the number of victims which are revealed outside is very less, unlike other crime. In other crimes, if anything happens, definitely we will go to the police. But in this case, we try to avoid because we will lose our reputation, or we feel that it is trivial. We lost around $500 or $400. Okay, for going to the police, we have to spend more time. So I don't do that. I try to get it on my own, or I leave it. So that is the attitude of many victims. So these are some unique characteristics of cybercrimes and technological barriers. Everyday technology is actually growing. So we don't know the technology. The police also study in a very slower pace the technology. I will tell you one thing: the criminals are very well ahead in learning the technology. There is always a saying that the criminals invent, and we people, police or criminologists, we discover. Correct? The criminals invent, we discover.
Yes, Dr. Letha. Absolutely.
In that case, cybercrime is also the criminals learn well ahead of us, but we police and law enforcement, it takes lot of time for us to learn, because we need the gadgets to learn, we need the technology to learn, and we have to invest lot of money on that, which many times we hesitate to do. But I will give you an alarm here. Like, if you want to become a law enforcement official, if you want to be a criminologist, do not hesitate to give your time to learn about the prevention methodologies, the cybercrime psychology, and how a criminal can commit crime in the cyberspace. You can actually invest, because the later space you will be regretting because of losing lot of money and not knowing the technology to prevent the crime or investigating the crime. So the technological barriers is one of the advantage of the cyber criminals, and like more cyber criminals than cyber cops. The entire cyberspace is filled with human beings, and I can even say more than 25% of them are from the criminal background, right? They tend to commit some crime in the cyberspace. But how many cyber cops we do have? How many proportionate numbers we do have? In India, we are increasing the number of cyber police stations. We are also increasing the cyber cops. But whether it is sufficient among the growing population, this applies to any other country, right? Because government has its own limitations, investing money and recruiting people, training them. This all involves a lot of money and time. So the criminals are rampant when compared to the cyber cops who are sitting inside the cyberspace. So this makes the cyber criminals so easy to commit a crime, because they are not easily watched, they are not guarded, nobody is there to follow them and to actually hand over them. So this all makes them so easy to commit a crime. And criminals feel very safe committing crimes. And apart from that, the law is very outdated in every country. Every day, these are the laws which have to be updated on every year basis, or at least every 6 months basis. For example, in Madras University, we do have masters in cyber forensics and information security. We update our syllabus at least every year, and we also modify a syllabus every 6 months, which is not possible in other subjects. But this is a subject which has everyday development. But all these things are making the criminals so happy to be in the cyberspace and commit a crime. They are like butterflies roaming around the cyberspace, trying to fish the people, trying to predate the people, and commit crimes in various manners. So, because of these unique characteristics, I actually say or request every one of you to take time, energy, and to learn more about cybercrimes prevention technologies. See, all of us should know what are the technologies invented every day, how the technology is used by people, how the technology can be abused. Now, artificial intelligence is buzz of the word. So, artificial intelligence is highly actually manipulated. Similarly, robotic systems, big data, right? Metaverse. Metaverse is going to be a greatest challenge. So, what is metaverse? See, I can create multiple offices of mine without my absence. For example, in another 5 years, if Philippine College of Criminology wants me to talk, and I don't have time on that particular day when they are demanding, I can create my metaverse image for PCCR, and my metaverse image will deliver lecture to you, right? And you can listen to my lecture the way I will do. So this is going to, in fact, many of the private companies have now moved on to metaverse spaces or metaverse offices, right? And imagine the way the criminals are going to misuse all these metaverse, artificial intelligence, big data, robotic system, or all the technologies using the technology based servers or systems or gadgets, right? So the day is not going to be without technology anymore. In another 2 years, I can actually tell you very firmly, none of us are going to use currencies and coins. All of us are going to use only digital currency. Within 2 years to 5 years, all of us will forget the coins and currencies. That will become history. Your PC, Philippines coin will become a history. My Indian coin will become a history. Our children will see only in the movies and exhibitions, right? All of us are going to use digital currency. So, how best we are aware of technology. So, give time to learn about technology, its development, and how people can use and abuse technology. So, that is the second step. The first step I said prevention is better than cure. The second step I say learn the technology which you are using and learn the technology by which the criminals also can commit a crime, because you are going to live with technology than human beings. I don't know how many of you are aware. Like there is an application. Like if you pay $100, if you're lonely, it's not dating application, but if you're lonely, if you pay $100, somebody will spend time with you for 5 hours or 10 hours over the online space, right? So that is how we are going to live with, I mean, technology and cyberspace. We don't even know, we don't even want our parents, we don't even want our friends, but we are going to live with our cyber friends and technology friends, and we are going to spend time with them. So in that case, I say that please know the technology which you're using, right? If you're not aware of internet safety or the technology, then you can be the victim. Don't say I can't be the victim. So the third thing I say is never believe that you can't be the victim because you're in law enforcement, because you are a criminologist. No, you can also become a victim. You can also become a kind of a layman to the criminal if you're not actually knowing the internet safety, right? So moving over to the recent technology based or cyber security threats, which is across the globe. Like there are a lot of crimes which is reported in every country, but the more common crimes reported in all the countries are the ones which I have listed here, right? Cyberbullying, stalking, and sexting. I'll explain you. Email phishing. Phishing is the very common term which is used among the cybersecurity professionals. Phishing is one of the greatest mode for the criminals to reach you, to loot your personal data, to loot your money, or to loot your official data or official money or anything. I can commit any crime. I mean, I can commit any kind of financial crime or personal crime using the technology of phishing. Okay, and email hacking, that is well known from the day email is actually invented, right? There are a lot of methodologies by the criminals to commit email hacking. I will tell you one thing: in all the cyber criminals, we are the precipitators. In victimology, there is a concept called victim precipitation. That term will well apply for cyber crimes victims also. Like we precipitate the crime in our gadgets. We precipitate the crime in the laptop we use. We precipitate the crime in the mobile phone we use. Most of the time, we are the people who precipitate these crimes, and victim precipitation is one of the concept which will very much apply in the case of cyber crimes. The cyber criminals will send you a lot of links. The cyber criminals will try to lure you on different manners, and we people lose our credibility and become a victim of them. So, email hacking is also possible by the criminals by cheating you in various manner. I can spend a kind of spyware to you, keylogger. Keylogger is something which actually will monitor every key moment of you in the laptop. For example, I am sending a mail to Camila, or I am sending a mail to John. Okay, so John believes that it is the mail sent by Dr. Latha. So he clicks a link or he downloads something which I have sent. Right. So the moment he downloads that, there will be a keylogger, which is a kind of spyware, which will sit in your computer. Right. And that will monitor every keystroke of you, including your usernames, your passwords, your mails, or whatsoever. Right? I can send keyloggers, I can send malwares, I can send spywares, I can send ransomwares by email or any of the attachments or any of the thing whichever you're downloading or clicking. And that's how people become the victims of phishing and hacking in the cyberspace. Right? And the most another common type of crime which is happening across the globe is impersonating. Like for example, you if you go to the Facebook, many of your friends are now declaring like there is a fake profile created in my name. Please do not get ill to that and don't send money. I have known lot of police officials, lot of high officials. They have their email ID or their Facebook ID or Insta is actually impersonated by the criminals, and with the impersonated profiles, they demand money or they demand some kind of benefit out of the victims who without the knowledge of knowing that this is impersonate profile, they send money. Right? See, this happened when the email actually when the email came, it started. Like suddenly I'll get a mail from one of my professor saying that I'm lost in London and all my money is lost. Now I'm on the road, so I don't even have money to buy my food. So can you send me money? Okay, without even verifying whether it is from the real professor, people sent money. Right? So the same concept is now applied in social media also. People impersonate fake profiles, fake lot of IDs. I can fake the profile of PCCR, right? If a criminal thinks they can fake the profile of PCCR, they can fake anything. So how are we going to guard about that? How are we going to monitor? So most of the times, the crimes are happening in the organizations because of insider threats. So one should be aware that the insider threat or the disgruntled employee, if you go and check the crimes reported in the police in the cyberspace, you will find most of the time the offenders will be either insiders or disgruntled employee. Like for example, my company is not paying much money to me, or my company is giving a lot of importance to other person, but I work a lot. This manager is not giving me importance. This principal is not giving me importance. So disgruntled employee, or like an employee, ex-employee, and in many cases, ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, ex-husbands, all of them are causes. Right? These are the countries where we follow our ex. There are countries they don't even know what happens to their ex. Like you will forget your ex the moment you check them off, the moment you actually say let them go. Right? But in countries like India and Asian countries, we do follow a lot of exes to know, oh, whether this person will live happily without me, or whether this organization will survive without my work. So we follow the ex, right? So most of the time, the ex-employees, ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, ex-husband, ex-wife, they all commit crimes. And like insider threat is one of the greatest threats in organizations. Unlike online job frauds, right? Online job, you name anything in the internet, any e-commerce, there is a fraud in that. Starting from the cradle of a child to a stick to the senior citizen, there is fraud in every space in online market and e-commerce market. We have to be very careful. For example, people buy in Snapdeal. I will say, like, the moment you buy something in Snapdeal, you will get 101 calls saying that I am from Snapdeal, right? They will give you offers, they will give you tickets, they will give you like lot of subsidies. They will try to lure you in many manner. They will say like, see, recently you purchased in Snapdeal, so in account of that, in the lottery you won, so you have won a car. So in order to register your lottery and a car, I want you to pay $500. The car is worth $50,000, but we are requesting you to pay $500 as registration amount. I have known people in various countries how much of money they have lost out of that. So e-commerce sites are more rampantly filled with lot of criminals, because wherever there is money, they'll be sitting over there now. And online matrimonial frauds. I don't know whether Philippines also have matrimonial sites. In the matrimonial sites, lot of online predators are sitting. Like for example, I'll tell you one case. See, I can update you with lot of cases. That's the way we have dealt with cases, and that's the way we come across everyday cases in our country and in every country also. See, for example, you advertise in matrimonial site, okay, saying that this groom needs a girl, okay, so, or this girl needs a groom. So somebody will approach you saying that yes, there is a groom who actually likes the girl, so we want to proceed. So they will proceed for the talk, and later they will convince in such a way that they will feel, oh, this groom is the better groom in the world. The girl also will start believing that yes, this groom is the better groom in the entire world, right? So after making this impression, these people will say, like in one incident in Mumbai, in India, it happened actually. The person said, I'm in London, so I have to, fly through uh, India to see the girl. So they fixed a date, and this groom also came, supposed to be flying from London, right? So he came from London, and while he came, he was wearing such a posh dress, such a valuable coat, and the meeting was arranged in one of the 10-star hotel in Mumbai, right? So this family was waiting for the groom, and this groom came in a very posh and luxurious car of the world, and he dropped in the hotel. They spoke. They were very happy about the groom because he is very luxurious. He is coming in flight. He is coming in a very luxurious car. He is having so much of money, etc., etc. I can say that you can borrow any type of car for any much of money, right? So, like this groom, then later he said, okay, we'll fix the marriage after 3 months. This is the date. Now I will flew back to London, and we will keep in touch, right? So this guy went to London, and on the way to London, he dropped a message to the girl's parent saying that while I was in transit to London, my mother got sick, and I have to admit her in this particular country for treatment. So I'm in the hospital. Unfortunately, I lost my credit cards, and the money which I had, I spent in India. So now I don't have money. Can you actually send money? That's it. After that, the groom is lost, and you can't find who the groom is. And the family which saved money for the girl's marriage, they spent every money with that particular person, believing that this person is going to marry her and the money is going to come back to her. But I'm telling you, lot of such matrimonial frauds in different aspects are actually happening. Also, frauds are happening in dating sites too. Dating sites are not only for dating, but it is also for the predators to cheat women and men in the dating websites, right? Also, a lot of the crimes like cryptocurrency related frauds, cryptocurrency related frauds are becoming more rampant in the world because cryptocurrency is becoming very common nowadays. And online trafficking, I will talk about it separately. This is one of the very hugest thing which is happening and heartbreaking. As I told you, all the traditional crimes have now moved on. So trafficking also moved out to cyberspace now. Women, children, young boys, all of them are trafficked for various purposes through online. And online gaming, gambling, that's again another crime. OTP frauds, that is across every world. So you will get OTP frauds. Sorry. Or you will get KYC, that is know your customer. Like your banks will send you KYC for forms to make you validate, but no bank will actually send like that. But many people, without knowing that it is a phishing message, they click the link, and from their bank account they lose lot of money. So like getting OTPs and people asking you to share the OTP or to click something and to validate you will never happen in bank or any prominent financial institutions. People are not aware of that. And then like business frauds, right? I can commit a lot of business frauds, like stealing my trademark. For example, PCCR has got a logo, right? If it is a registered logo, like nobody can actually use that logo without the permission of PCCR. But I can steal the logo of PCCR. I can use in any part of the country, world, saying that they are also from PCCR. So stealing the IPR, intellectual property rights, like your copyright materials, your your logos, registration numbers, your business secrets. For example, like every food product has its own business secret. See, we all eat noodles, but not all the noodles are same in all the shops, right? We have particular liking to certain shops because the taste differs from the previous shops. But what makes the shop to have that particular taste? So that's a business secret. So all your business secrets now can be looted from the online, because many of the people do their business using the machines. Okay, so your business secrets, your trade secrets, everything can be now looted in the business space. And debit card, credit card, and a swim swap card fraud, everything is happening now. E-wallet related frauds, and then like wishing. Wishing is making a call over the phone and trying to make a victim through the call. So that is there. And then like internet banking related frauds, ransomware attacks, unauthorized access, and all such crimes are very rampant in the world in the cyberspace. Like this is OTP fraud. So I will not explain you more because already I have spoken about you. I will leave the PPT to the organizers. They can share it to you. And most of the times, friends, I will tell you, all these crimes are now happening through the social media. There is a term called modus operandi in investigation, right? When we talk about investigation, the police immediately talk a word called modus operandi. That is MO. It is nothing but an expansion of Latin word called mode of operation. It's an abbreviation of mode of operation. So every criminal will have his own mode of operation, modus operandi. Even if it is chain snatching, the criminal will have different modes. For example, one criminal will pour some dirt on your dress, and by the time you turn and look into the dirt, they will remove your chain and go. And looting your mobile phones, somebody will come by bike, somebody will do it in the public space. So criminals will have different mode of operations, and with the mode of operations, the police will identify the criminals, because most of the time the police in that particular area will know that this set of criminals will use this modus of operandi, right? But like in cyberspace, now the modus operandi is mostly social media. Your social media sites are used to victimize you. So we have to be very careful while using social media, right? How it can actually happen. What can actually happen through social media? I can hack you. I can take all your data. I can actually victimize you in various angles. I can actually attack your family. I can commit any crime against your family. I can commit a crime against organizations. So you may think how using my social media, like organizations can be attacked. I'll tell you one example. In one of the countries, a particular officer who was working in its defense force was actually eliminated or dismissed from his service. What was the reason for the same? Like this man actually was working in a defense force, which organization do lot of researches on defense for their country. Like for Philippines, for example, you need to keep doing lot of defense researches to develop your defense forces, arms, weapons, etc. Right. So this man actually worked in that particular country to do a lot of defense related researches. And like all of us will get boredom every evening or after our work. So this man also actually got bored out of his work. So he started engaging himself in social media, right? So when we go into social media, we'll get in acquaintance with lot of strangers, right? So he got into a profile, so which was so appealing to him, and that was a profile of a girl. So he started conversing with the girl every day to weed off his boredom. So every day when he come back, he'll start talking with the girl, and the girl also will be so happy to talk to him. Both of them will start sharing lot of goods and bads, right? And one the moment we start sharing like this, we have a very peculiar habit. The peculiar habit is like the moment we start conversing in social media and we gain the trust, what we guys used to do, like we used to share everything from good morning to good night, right? The moment you wake up, you send a good morning, and the moment you go to the bed, you send them good night, and in between whatever happens, we tend to share them. I went for a walk, I had a tea today in this particular shop, it was so good, I met my friend, I did this in my office, etc. So this man also was sharing everything with this girl. And this particular defense force, they found that there is a kind of unnatural IP traffic between two IP addresses in the social media. So they had their own suspicion, and they started following that. And when they tracked this particular IP address, they found that this man is continuously chatting with another person. And in eventually they found that the person sitting on the other side, who claims to be a girl, is not actually the girl this man intended to know or intended to have known, but that is a spy from their enemy country who was trying to spy on what is happening in this country on their defense forces. Without this knowledge, this man was sharing all the researches being done in the defense force, saying, like by way of conversation, today I was working on that, today it was good. So he was sharing everything, which is actually lethal to the organization. So this man was sacked because of not following the organization's rules of not revealing the confidentiality, even with your girlfriend, even with your fiancé, even with your wife. So through social media, any types of crimes can happen against you or anyone. So social media is normally used for like talking, participating, sharing, networking, and bookmarking. But beyond that, crimes also actually happens. The history of social media is originally the social media was found only for treating patients. It was actually started as message boards, bulletin boards, and discussion groups. And the internet age started in 1990s. America came out with American online chat rooms. That was the first kind of chat room. And in America, they started using this social media pages created specifically, especially for the Association of Cancer Online Resources. They actually created to interact with the patients who got, released from their hospitals. The patients who took treatment in the hospitals, when they go back to their home, the hospital wanted to follow them for whether they are taking the medicine properly, are they okay after the treatment. So they wanted to know all those things. So it is actually for that purpose originally the social media actually was started, where interactions between more than two people started. So that is how the history of social media is. It was actually done for some productive purpose, right? It is especially for medical help. So it was actually created, and the world entirely turned when in 2002 the social media called Friendster was invented, and then we got MySpace and LinkedIn, and the greatest revolution is Facebook. 2004 Facebook came into existence, right? Our friend John was announcing, friends, we are live in Facebook, all of us can watch, right? So originally Mark created this Facebook for the purpose of learning. I assume that he created an app which was used between four of his friends to share some notes. And later the college said, why don't you use the same for the entire college? Now the entire world is actually using the same app in a different name called Facebook, and we can't survive without Facebook, right? The moment we wake up, we use Facebook. The moment we wake up, we use Instagram. The moment we wake up, we use WhatsApp, right? So actually checking your WhatsApp messages and your messenger messages first in the morning is actually not good for our psychological health. Yesterday there was a study revealed by psychological associations that opening up the messages in the morning as first hand is not good, because we get into a lot of pressures in the mental space, right? But Facebook came in 2004. It created a revolution in the field of social media, and all of us are now into social media in different forms. By the time I'm speaking to you, in the world, we have more than thousands of social media applications. You don't even know which are the applications are existing. If I ask you how many social media applications you know, you can hardly say 10 or 15. But you can see from the screen, you have more than thousands of applications. I don't have space to accommodate everything, but like there are a lot of social media pages. The greatest challenge is for the police to understand from which social media platform who committed a crime. Like nowadays, very common types of crimes occur is cross-platform social media crimes. Sitting at Facebook, I can commit a crime against a person in Instagram. So the police have lot of difficulties. But the fourth, message I can give it to you is, if any criminal feels that he can hide himself and commit a crime, it is not possible. Every criminal will leave his footpath in the digital space. All of you, being a forensic science students and criminology students, should have known the principle of Lockhardt's. The base of forensic science is Lockhart principles of exchange, right? Every criminal will leave his trace. And so is the case in social media in cyberspace. Every criminal will leave his digital stamp in the cyberspace. The role of the police and digital forensic professionals and criminologists is to explore the digital stamp and catch hold of the criminal. So, if anyone feels that I can go freehand committing a crime in the cyberspace, it is not possible. But only the thing is how far the police or law enforcement put the effort to actually track the criminal. It matters, right? If you put the effort, definitely the criminal can be actually traced. But it is a challenging job for the police, right? And the great another challenge in the cyberspace, especially in social media, is believing the digital identity of a person. So the fifth message, which I can say here is, never believe the digital identity of a person. Every person actually is bound to create a lot of identities. For example, if I ask about your president, your friends will say something, your college will say something, and outside the college, her friends will say something. And me, I have seen her in the conference of Asian criminology. I felt her as a very vibrant, active, young, and enthusiastic woman, and a woman who came out with a lot of struggles and who wants to keep up her father's ambition. So I feel so. And everyone will have different identity in different spaces. And people also now try to have some identity in the digital space also. So they create a lot of profiles to establish their digital identity by saying that I did the charity today, I did this particular act today. So people start thinking, oh, this person is a great person. He or she is doing so much of good activities. So, by virtue of believing this digital identity, many people become a victim of that particular person. So, I will tell you as the point, never believe the digital identity of a person and share your personal information like your date of birth, your valuable reports, registration numbers, or your personal data like your how many of you are in your family and what are your family members are doing, what do you do every day, how much money you have, where do you store your money, who is at home now, when are you alone, when are you going outside. So never share any of your personal data with the people whom you believe to be good in the digital space. I can even say there is something called stranger danger in the social media. That is one of the things that is buzzing across the world, where women, elderly person, even men become victimized because of believing the strangers. I can even say, don't believe the strangers, don't believe the partial strangers. For example, I know a person halfway in person, and halfway I establish a relationship in digital space like Messenger. But don't believe their digital identity and fall a prey. Everybody have multiple faces in their life, and believing the digital identity, if you start sharing your data, like you will be a victim very easily. How many of you know that in Facebook, there is no need for you to give all the data. For example, where do you work? Where do you study? And is it essential that you have to give your original date of birth? No need. It only needs to validate that you are above 18. So you can give any date of birth. But why do we give all those informations that it makes an information for somebody? For example, in trafficking, the traffickers follow your profiles and they identify, for example, if a beautiful woman or a girl or a man who is worth of lot of money. So they follow you and they try to come to a place in person and they try to kidnap you, abduct you, or they can do anything. These things are very common through social media. So never believe a digital identity of a person. Never believe strangers, partial strangers, or even known people in the social media to share your valuable personal data of your whereabouts, of your family's whereabouts, of your records of, for example, your identity card of your country, or the numbers, or your personal numbers. So don't share any of such things. In cases I have seen, like when a girl says, my parents are out of my home, the predators or traffickers, they have come to the girl's place and they have actually kidnapped her. We have handled the cases in our own country. So never believe those things. That is my first one, fifth point to you. And the common types of crimes that is actually committed in social media or through social media, whatever I have given is only 5%, but there are enormous number of crimes happening in social media. The most well-known type of crime through social media is digital abuse. How many of you know that you're actually abused digitally? We know about physical abuse. We know about like what to say, uh, 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 sexual abuse. We know about verbal abuse. We know about emotional abuse. But how many of you know that there is something called digital abuse, right? People can abuse you digitally. So there are some characteristics of digital abuse, which I will leave it in the next PowerPoint to you, right? And ransomware. Ransomware is very common across the world now. Like somebody will hold any part of your data in any of your gadgets and they will see that you're not able to open or operate that, and they will demand money as cryptocurrencies through the dark web, and you have to send them money. And they're very very genuine people. The moment you send them money, they will release your data, right? In such way, many organizations have lost a lot of their data. Even one of the popular organization in a country, I don't want to name the countries and also the names because this is one international seminar going live. So in one of the country, a popular hospital was actually attacked by ransomware criminals. And the criminal said, if I want to release your patient's data, imagine the hospital is running for more than 200 years. And this ransomware attacker says, if I want to release all the data of your patients, you have to pay this much of amount to me as cryptocurrency. And very boldly, the hospital took a, stand and said, I'm not going to pay the money which you wanted. Rather, the hospital felt they can recreate the patient's data. Okay, that was possible with the hospital. But imagine whether it is possible with every other organizations, right? So popular leaders, political leaders or celebrities, their accounts are actually, attacked by ransomware professionals. So, for example, if I'm a popular celebrity, as a diary, like we used to write diary every day. So I register everything in my Facebook or in my Twitter or in my social media. So if somebody holds my social media and says, if you want to release this social media, you have to pay this amount. So eventually I have all my data in that particular social media page. So I tend to pay for them in cryptocurrencies in the dark web. So this is becoming very common among individuals, among companies and organizations, among celebrities and politicians. So this is one of the common crime. So how actually this crime actually happens to us? By way of clicking some link or like attending some international call where from you don't know. For example, the moment you get some call from any of your messenger with international numbers, never attend to it unless you know the number from where it is coming or if you know the person, right? So most of the time through messengers and chat sites and social media only, the ransomware attacks are perpetrating, right? Similarly, data loss. Data is money in the present world, right? So data is lost in social media through lot of our pages, whichever we are using, right? For example, clicking. See, you think that I will ask everyone a question. How do you download all your applications? Most of the time through Google app or Play Store or some by Apple Play Store. So we download everything, right? So do you think that all the apps which we download are safe? We download all these apps because it is free. Imagine if some app is saying, Facebook is saying that you have to pay $100 every month. Will we actually download that particular app? Because it is free, we are downloading every app, whether we need it or we don't need it. I have very simple question: whether all these applications are really free in this world. I have something to say as a sixth point. Nothing in this world is actually free except your mom and dad. Except your mom and dad, even your siblings, even your would-be's, your fiancés, your husband and wives, your friends, or any freebies which you are given in any of your countries, in any of your organizations, it is actually not free. It all has a tag of something else attached to that, right? All that is free in this world is actually not free, and so is your data applications, whichever you're downloading. Everything steals your data by way of providing free application. Your data is stolen, your personal data is stolen. So one of my student asked me, ma'am, this particular app is actually compromised. I don't want to name the app. So this particular app is compromised. In all the newspapers it is actually reported. So if I delete my profile from the app, is it safe? It is not safe. The moment the profile is created in one particular social media application, then your data is already gone, right? You should actually understand you're paying something for every free app, and that is nothing but the data of you, the data of whomever you're stored in your mobile, and the data of whomever is communicating in your Gmail or any of your mail or any of your social media pages. You're compromising not only your data, but your friends, families, acquaintances, colleagues' data also. So, what do I do? Download only those applications which are really essential, and use different phone number and different uh, email address for all the social media applications where you're not connected with any of the people. And especially if you're using e-com uh, GPay, Google Pay, or some Paytm or etc. in your mobile, use different phone numbers that you're not using that phone number in your social media, right? So some of the few tips only I'm saying, but you have a lot of things to carry on in the cyberspace. And I spoke a lot about phishing and hacking and cyberbullying. If I don't like somebody, it is very easy to bully only online. So cyberbullying is becoming a very common type of crime in every part of the world. So people bully easily by way of, so what is bullying? Like targeting someone and teasing them by way of their name, by way of the gender, caste, creed, community, religion, or their beliefs or their personal attributes. We call them as bullying. That has become very rampant in cyberspace now. And stalking is another form of crime happening in social media. And like a lot of suicides, a lot of murders actually have happened because of stalking. Or even stalking can occur by organizations to follow what this company is doing. So stalking is not as easy as we think. Time in and out, our media, our movies have taught stalking to all our youngsters. Like, so we feel that stalking is actually good, but stalking is not good. It leads to suicides, murders, a lot of loss of reputation, or even losing money. So there are cases where I have seen suicides among young girls because of cyber stalking, right? So anybody can stalk you from your social media. In one of the cases, a girl used to post lot of pictures every day. She used to take selfies and post. So a person who wanted to uh, reach her, a person was so much of liking of her, so he wanted to reach her. He started following all her selfies, and he found a pattern of taking selfies. When we take selfies, we have a pattern. We go to the place where the light is more, or we see the angle where we look better. So this girl also had a pattern. With that pattern, he understood that there is a railway station near to her home, and he approximately identified the railway station. And he stood near the point of the railway station where the selfies are normally posted, and he started witnessing all the houses near the railway platform. And he found the girl coming on the same day to the particular window to to take a selfie and post. He found the girl, he started stalking again, and after that, one fine day when the parents was not there, this fellow went and molested her. So stalking is not as easy as we think. It can lead to any number of crimes, right? Cyber pornography. Pornography is not anything easy. Pornography is a kind of organized crime. Organized criminals make money out of cyber pornography, right? Your children's pictures, your pictures can go viral even without your knowledge, and they can make money for the pornographic people or organized criminals. For example, if any of your child is photos is taken, and if it is sold for $100 in your place, in another country, the same photo will be sold for $1,000, right? Your neighbors, your friends, or anybody can be a kind of perpetrator to take such pornographic pictures and send to people. And we also become victim of such pornographic sites through our use of social media pages. For example, like you have a lot of challenges in social media. For example, best friend challenge, best sari challenge, best for teachers challenge. So a lot of challenges come in the social media. We think that these challenges are by genuine people. Most of the time, organized criminals perpetrate such challenges. For example, best Filipino dress challenge. So you think that this is by somebody who is genuine. So you also post some picture with a good Filipino post and tag all your friends. So what happens? These criminals use websites like Deep Nude, Deep Fake, and they convert this fully dressed photograph into fully nude photograph, and either they blackmail you or they float it in the pornographic market to mint money. Most of the time, those who are not exposed, like college girls and boys, small boys and girls, housewomen, so all of them are targets, and they mint money, lot of money out of pornographic websites. In US, you can see a person who was actually funding a lot of celebrities and politicians. He was arrested, Jeffrey. So he was arrested, and he was in jail because he created money out of pornographic pages, and especially child pornography. Child pornography is an offense in every country, whereas other pornography is not an offense in some country, but child pornography is an offense in many countries. So out of this pornographic organized crime pictures, he minted money to support lot of politicians and celebrities. So, like, like it's a kind of organized crime, as we think it is not that easy. And cyber trafficking, and I'll explain later. Blackmailing is another form of crime, and chat room crimes. There are a lot of chat room created by the online predators, and men and women fall a prey without the knowledge that they are going to be the victim of it. And lot of other things, scams and e-commerce frauds, burglary, identity theft, cyber defamation, financial frauds, money mules and drug mules. What do you mean by money mules and drug mules? Like somebody trying to make to convert their black money through you into white money, right? They can use you. How? I can give you an example. See, for example, there are lot of advertisements saying that, do you want to make money, do you want to earn money, you can work from home and earn money, right? So normally, like what we do, if you want to seek a job, we go to a company or we go to a place, you know who is the person who is going to recruit you, and then you work for them. But when it is online advertisement saying that, can you work for me, like can you work, so it is going to be work from home. So you keep doing lot of work for them. So out of it, they will say, like, for example, your salary will be $10,000 per month. Okay, so they will send you $10,000 the first month. The second month also they'll send you $10,000, and the third month they will send you $40,000. So you'll be wondering, see, my salary is only $10,000, but I will receive $40,000. The moment you realize, they will give a call to you saying that, see, accidentally we sent the money to you. Can you transfer to the account to which we are giving the remaining 30,000? So you will be transferring that 30,000 amount to somebody else. What actually is happening? You are trying to help them converting their black money into white money. If the police comes to know, who will be the victim? We will be the victim. Similarly, drug mules, right? Like when you do work from home, you don't know what actually you're selling. For example, you want to sell honey. Honey is one of the good money making product. So you will actually opt to sell honey. So you are thinking that you are taking order from somebody. You are sending the order to someone who is actually selling honey. So that person will send directly the honey to the other person. But in online parlance, honey means there is another name called cocaine. So without knowing, you are actually uh, trading the cocaine. You'll be thinking that you are only getting customers for honey or making money out of that, and later you will be the victim and you will be caught by the police. So a lot of such things are there in the internet. And cyber terrorism, the countries which do not want you, or the terrorist attack can actually happen through cyberspace. They say like the third world war is not going to be of man-made war, it is going to be the digital war. In fact, lot of signs are there, right? They say like this country's I mean a critical infrastructure is attacked, etc., etc. Lot of examples are there. I don't want to say it here. Okay, so like cyber terrorism is going to be very common. There is no need for you to put a bomb in a place now. Like you can easily attack all the critical infrastructure using cyberspace. And a lot of terrorist organizations are recruiting our youngsters to be cyber terrorists even without their knowledge. They pay a lot of money. So the youngsters feel that, oh, sitting at home or sitting at one organization, I can make this money. But they don't even know that they're working for terrorist organizations. So a lot of examples are there how youngsters become victims out of that. And you have a lot of cyber gangs. Illegal business is happening. Whatever you cannot sell online, whatever you cannot sell offline in your country can be sold through illegal mode in the cyberspace. And illegal contacts are there. Lot of illegal contacts are getting done through social media. And status offenses in criminology is by virtue of being a child, you are not supposed to do certain things. So those status offenses are becoming very common among the children in the cyberspace. So social media is becoming so rampant for all these crimes, and we have to be aware of all these crimes. See, this is one example. I hope the video will play how the phishing attack actually happens. So the child thinks it is something else, but unfortunately, the mother feeds something else. So digital abuse. This is what is digital abuse: constant texting, calling, and checking on your location, or asking where you are, and somebody demanding your passwords. Like I can say, passwords are like your underwears. You can neither wear it for a long time nor share it with anyone, right? So like demanding your passwords is actually not good. So if anybody demands passwords from you, like you're not supposed to give, and going through your phone without your knowledge, or your email without your knowledge, or sending mail without your knowledge, or sending some text from your phone without your knowledge. So all these things are amounting to digital abuse. Unfortunately, we don't even know that we are actually abused digitally. We feel that my husband, my wife is asking my phone number or asking my password, so I share. Even if it is wife or husband or parents or siblings, there is no need for you to share all your digital secrets, right? So like like lot of domestic violence happened during COVID time. And most of the common way the victims were abused are they were abused digitally by holding their phone. The phones were not given to the women that they can connect to their parents or friends. So COVID was more rampant, like the domestic violence was more rampant during COVID time. So that time digital abuse was very common among domestic violence victims. So cyber trafficking, as I told you, all these vulnerable networks are Facebook, WhatsApp, TikTok, or any dub smash applications, dating sites, gaming sites, e-commerce sites. How e-commerce sites can become a place for trafficking? Well, the online predators register themselves as delivery agents, right? For example, you are buying something from a website, so they will register themselves as delivery agents. They will target women, men, or someone, and later in person they will traffic you or they will blackmail you. They can do anything. So I have a lot of examples in our own country itself. So like a lot of social media networks and smart gadgets are the main source of cyber trafficking. And you will not believe, like if somebody is trafficked online, what can happen to them? They can be exploited sexually, they can be kept as bonded labor, they can be a person who will be used for organ trafficking, narcotics trafficking, and they'll be used for drug smuggling and money smuggling, right? And when it comes to online sex trafficking, what happens, like They will ask you to share photos, semi-nude and nude. I have known children during COVID period or even now, they were actually lured by the online predators by way of games. When you use the games, you're in acquaintance with the strangers. So by way of acquaintance, they trust them and later they become a victim. That's a process. I have a lot of examples for that. So they'll make you to send semi-nude pictures. They'll make you to perform sexual acts, and they will also ask you to simulate sex with violence. Sex with violence is making more money, so they'll ask you to do that. They will also ask you to simulate real-time sex. They will create rape videos. They will also advertise online with your number for sexual conversations. Webcam sex tourism is more popular in Thailand, which is becoming more popular in other countries also. And they will also coerce of use of drugs and alcohol. So all these things can happen when somebody is trafficked online, right? So these are some of the code languages used in online spaces. See, when you're a parent or when you're somebody who is a guard of cyberspace, you should also know the slangs used in the cyberspace. Most of the time, the predators, traffickers, they use this cyber slang to converse themselves, right? So these things I can leave. And sexting is more dangerous. People do sexting over the cyberspace. That is more dangerous. That leads to a lot of suicides and other kinds of victimization. Spyware, malware, ransomware, and all these attacks are again very common. So these are some of the sites, deep nude sites or deep fake, where your photos and videos can be made nude and circulated. A lot of celebrities are claiming cases against a lot of people in such uses. So your photos and videos are more vulnerable in the social media pages. You have to be very careful. Uh, Privacy settings, yes, of course, you have to follow. But before that, think twice whether you need to post it in the social media. The moment you post in social media, the moment you have something in the digital gadget, you can assume that it is no more your property. Right? For example, if you take a photograph in your camera and in your phone, you can well assure that this photo is no more going to be my property. It can be anybody's property. So while taking any photos or any personal pictures, please be very careful to understand whether you need to do that. Okay, like Alexander Graham Bell, the person who invented telephone. If he comes back to our world, he will feel that why at all he invented telephone, because the phone was actually invented for the purpose of emergency communication. But now the phone is all in all that we use the same phone for every other purpose except than emergency communication, right? So you can see this. There are a lot of trainings happening how hackers hack webcam with just one click, right? Even if your webcam is switched off, they can actually send a spyware that it can be kept on even when it is switched off. So cyber defamation, it also amounts to punishable. You can't pass derogatory remarks, unverified comments, celebrity targeting, name shaming, shaming otherwise, all will lead to cyber defamation, which you're not supposed to do. Lot of examples are there. And in the name of meme, also we do lot of cyber defamation, which is actually punishable. So I can show you the example how Google said that they actually experienced a malware for past 4 years. So if you feel that from Google Play Store or Apple Play Store, I'm downloading so it is safe. No, it is not safe. You can go and type in your Play Store asking, how can I see the last scene of the blocked person? It will show an app. Do you think that it is safe? Any app which you download for hacking or such activities will be a threat to you also. So that's what when we teach digital forensics, most of the time, when we download open source softwares, we don't use the computer of ours. We have a standby computer or older computer in which we always down, because when we download that, indirectly you're also downloading spyware, malware, and viruses. So like in all the open source tools, we do have a lot of threats, and all the open source applications also, we do have a lot of threats. So these are some of the forms of cyberbullying. I will leave all these things to you, right? These are some of the challenges across the world. Gaming addiction is becoming one of the most common factor. Like nowadays we are getting Facebook de-addiction center, online gaming de-addiction centers. So psychologically also people are getting victimized. So with all these things, I want to say is what I've spoken here is only 5% of what is existing in the real world. But if I start talking about the crimes which are against organizations, the crimes which are against individuals, it will go on and on. In fact, even 5 days of training I told your PCCR organization that we could come there for a training, right? Even a 5 day of training will not be sufficient because that is how the cyberspace is all about. So, with this thing, I want to just say something to you. The first thing, know the gadget which you are using. First of all, you safeguard yourself and know what is happening in the technology, and also learn the cybersecurity methods very meticulously that you can prevent yourself and also prevent the world. If you have any queries on this, you can reach me anytime over the phone, over my email, over my WhatsApp. I'm ready to give any kind of support. Also, we do have foundations for cybercrime victims. We can approach us for any support for cybercrime victimization. I'm ready to enlighten you in the forthcoming days also. And I leave this PowerPoint to your organization. Thank you for giving this opportunity. If anybody have any support, please do ask me. I'm open for questions, and we can also have a discussion if your time permits. And hope you all had some knowledge out of my short lecture. If you want me to talk about this, I will talk for 40 years. That is my experience in dealing with everyday gadget. So thank you for this opportunity. I'm overwhelmed to see the Filipinos here. I have a passion for Filipinos. In fact, I told my colleagues that
To questions and further discussion. We invite everyone to share their thoughts and engage with Dr. Latha on some of the key challenges and opportunities in addressing technology based crimes. Let's begin the open forum with a few questions, audience. We have here Dr. Latha. Here's the question, ma'am. With the rapid advancement of technology regularly, what do you think are the most pressing challenges law enforcement faces when investigating technology based crimes, and how can they better adapt to these evolving threats?
thank you for this question. This is a very pertinent question. The greatest challenge the law enforcement faces now is data privacy. Like for example, if I want to investigate a crime, I need to go through the social media pages of people, right? So the law enforcement is actually tied up because of the privacy issues involved in that. So in order to overcome that, every country is coming out with their data privacy laws, and to what extent the law enforcement can access to certain social media pages of a person, or in what extent the privacy can be reached out. So the greatest challenge is data privacy. And the second challenge is jurisdiction, right? So a person sitting in America can commit a crime against Filipinos. A person sitting in India can commit a crime against Africans. So it is beyond boundaries. So that is one of the major challenge. Again, all the countries are coming out with multilateral treaties, and the major crimes are getting solved. That in the future days, this will also become easy, that cybercrimes can be solved by across the countries, right? And the third challenge is technology learning among the law enforcement. As I told you, the criminals are well ahead. So the updation of technology knowledge among the police is not up to date as it is expected. So probably as the days goes on, every country will give more training on this aspect. And it's a kind of transition stage. We're in a kind of transition stage from conventional world to the technology world. So as we move on to the full technology world, I'm sure that even law enforcement will be fully equipped with the knowledge of technology. So these are the three major challenges which the law enforcement faces at this point. But I see that these challenges will be overcome in a very shorter time. I can see a lot of green signals, lot of changes in every country.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Latha. We also have another question from one of the Council of Student Leaders in the Philippine College of Criminology. Here is the question, Dr. Latha. In your opinion, what role does social media platforms and online communities play in facilitating or combating technology based crimes?
That's a beautiful question. In fact, my lecture in Sri Lanka last year was on that. Um, like as the technology used by criminals to commit crimes, now law enforcement also started using technology to prevent crimes and to detect crimes. Social media pages play a major role for detecting crimes and also to prevent crimes. For example, how do you prevent crimes? How law enforcement works? They can make time to time announcement of various cyber crimes and crimes using their own social media pages. And similarly, the police use the social media to detect the criminals, their whereabouts by, following the networks. For example, if I am actually linked to a network, and with that network, the police try to follow the criminals. So to detect the criminals' whereabouts, to know the activities of the criminals, and also to know who is associated with a particular criminal. So for all these things, the law enforcement now started using technology. In many countries, now social media pages are used to track the criminals, right? Similarly, in judiciary also, now technology is widely used, and even in prisons, technology is used to communicate within the prisoners and their families, or to create a healthy environment for the prisoners by showing them lot of awareness videos, lot of recreation videos, or lot of rehabilitation videos, etc. So the law enforcement also started using technology and social media to prevent crime, detect crime, to punish the criminals, and also to rehabilitate the criminals. I'm sure now it is going to be a lot of help for the law enforcement.
All right, thank you, Dr. Lata. We have another question coming from the Forensic Science Division of PCCR. As digital forensics continues to advance, how do you think the legal and ethical boundaries of technology based crime investigations should evolve to balance privacy rights with the need for security?
Well, to address this challenge, every country has come out with their own digital evidence manual. For example, if you take India, we do have digital evidence manual, handbook of digital evidence manual, which is circulated to all the law enforcement officials and also to forensic science professionals to understand how far we can invade into the privacy and what laws we can apply for that, and how investigation can be carried out. Always privacy and forensics are like in a kind of a kind of couple, like always go on a tug of war, but we can't remain without detecting a crime. So the countries are actually addressing to face this ethical issue. They also give some ethical guidelines to handle evidences when it comes to digital forensic evidences. I can share one of my manual to your college, which will help you to understand how certain ethics to be followed while collecting the data, preserving the data, or disclosing the data, and to whom to disclose, how to disclose, etc. Is given in the manual. That will help you to understand like how ethics is followed in analyzing the digital evidence.
All right, thank you, Dr. Lata, and we will truly appreciate that. We'll probably have time for two more questions. Let's check this one out. Here's the question, Dr. Lata. What are the key challenges in coordinating international efforts to combat cybercrime? And what are the improvements do you think are necessary for cooperation?
Apart from the challenges which I told you already, the one of the major challenges cultural issue. See, for example, what is a crime in America cannot be a crime in India. What is a crime in Philippines cannot be a crime in India. So what is a crime in India cannot be a crime in Philippines. So, like for example, in India, uh, revealing a girl's personal data is a serious issue. In one of the cases, like what happened, a girl was in love with a person, and almost for 7 years she was in love. Later, she found that that particular person is not a good one, and she has to step out of the particular relationship. And after that, After many years, she got engaged to a person. And as I told you, this ex boyfriend who was continuously following this girl wrote a very bad message about this girl in the fiance's Facebook page, right? He said, like, are you a kind of a sacrificer? You're going to marry this girl, etc., etc. And when the matter went to the law enforcement, they tried to locate the person. They went to the level of identifying the IP address of the particular Facebook profile. But after that, the Facebook has to provide the data of the particular IP profile. So when the law enforcement wrote at that particular point of time that can you provide this data for the purpose of investigation, the reply came from the service provider saying that this is a trivial matter because of which we cannot reveal the data. So what is trivial to them is more dangerous in our country, right? This kind of message will damage the marriage institution of the girl. She even can commit suicide, and there may be no marriage for her at all. So then uh, the country came out with a regulation saying that the service providers who are offering the particular service in the country should abide to the law of the country and they have to provide data, right? But that is not the case in every country. So the major challenge with the countries is the cultural issues which we are facing apart from the other issues I actually told. So even these issues will now come down based on the country's rules and regulations and their multilateral treaties.
All right, thank you, Dr. Lata. And for our last question here, we have a student here from PCCR who asked, AI being used in criminal purposes, what steps can the governments and technology companies and educators take to prevent the misuse of these technologies in criminal activities?
Where there is a development, there will also be a crime. I hope all of you could have read Emily Durkheim's, theories on crime and delinquency. So Durkheim used to say that a country is economically developed. If there is a crime in a country, then there is some economic development, right? So, like as with economic development, we'll have a lot of crimes. As the technology grows, we'll have a lot of crimes. But it is our duty to go on par with the criminals to tackle these crimes. So, coming to the AI crimes, I understand that most of the countries have now come out with their AI laws and regulations. Even India has come out with some guideline, and US and other countries they have come out with their artificial intelligence regulations and rules. Like they have listed out in what conditions artificial intelligence can be used, how it can be used, and to what extent it can be used, and what are the violations. So now every country will start having its own AI regulations, and with that regulations, I'm sure that the use of AI can be regulated in a shorter period of time. Now people use AI rampantly because many countries do not have AI regulations. But shortly, every country will come out with AI regulations which will regulate the use of AI and the purpose of AI. And I'm sure that anybody who is going to create an AI app in future have to register their application. And also the usage of AI also will have registrations. So such regulations will actually prevent AI crimes in future. That will be a kind of threat for another 2 years because again we are in a cusp. So for another 2 years we'll face problems, but later that will become a practice to regulate the AI use.
All right, and thank you so much for entertaining our questions. On behalf of everyone here, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to Dr. S. Latha for delivering such an insightful and thought provoking presentation on the topic of technology based crimes, issues, and challenges. Your expertise in this rapidly evolving area of criminology has illuminated the complex issues surrounding technology driven crime and the significant challenges that law enforcement, policymakers, and society at large must confront. Your in depth knowledge, clear explanations and engaging delivery not only broadened our understanding, but also sparked essential discussions on how we can better address these concerns in the digital age. To present our token of our appreciation for your exceptional contribution to today's webinar, I'd like to introduce again our program chairhead of the CCJ, Dr. Sharina Tantoko Peralta.
Thanks, John. This certificate of appreciation is presented to Dr. S. Latha in recognition of your valuable contribution to the CCJ webinar during the first Crime Week celebration with the theme Criminal Justice Education, Shaping Leaders in Law Enforcement. Your expertise and insights have enriched the learning experience of our students and faculty. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to the field of criminology and for inspiring the next generation of leaders in this field. Given this 6th day of November 2024 at the Philippine College of Criminology, signed by the Dean of the College of Criminal Justice, Dr. Kapeline M. Casio, and yours truly. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much for the appreciation. And thank you for this wonderful opportunity to be with you. What I've spoken is only from the non-technological angle. But if we start with technological angle, we'll have more sessions. I'm sure I will interact with you in some other day and all these things. So once again, thank you so much for this great and lovable opportunity.
We appreciate you so much, Dr. S. Latha. Thank you, guys. Thank you, ma'am. And around another round of virtual applause for Dr. Latha. So, to our audience, please don't forget. Closing remarks, ma'am. And what an absolutely insightful webinar. And thank you all for joining us today. As we come to our close, I'm honored once again to introduce our program chair, Dr. Sharina Tantoko Peralta. She has been instrumental in guiding today's discussions and bringing us all together, truly embodying passion, integrity, and excellence. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Sharina Tantoko Peralta for our closing remarks.
Thank you, John. For our closing remarks, again, I would like to thank Dr. S. Latha for your insightful presentation today on technology-based crimes, issues, and challenges. Your expertise has really provided valuable perspectives on the evolving landscape of cybercrime and the challenges that we are currently facing in addressing them. As we conclude this session, may we all be reminded of the important role that criminology plays in understanding and responding to these technological advancements. This presentation and discussion has truly enriched our celebration of the first Criminology Week in the Philippines. It really further deepened the knowledge and the knowledge of our students in this vital area of study. And on behalf of the Philippine College of Criminology, College of Criminal Justice, we would like to extend our sincerest gratitude to Dr. S. Latha and to all of you, to all our participants from YouTube and also from Facebook, our live and our virtual participants. Thank you very much for all your participation today. Let us all continue to engage, learn, and collaborate in the fight against emerging crimes. Again, thank you very much, everyone, and happy first Criminology Week sa inyong lahat. Thank you very much, Dr. Latha, and have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you po.
We appreciate your words of wisdom, Dr. Sharina. To our audience, please don't forget our feedback form. This is different from the attendance form. We look forward to your evaluation as we're eager to hear your feedback, comments, questions, and suggestions. We'll leave this up for a few seconds. So, maraming salamat mga batang 641. And once again, host John Servillian, and we will see you in the next webinar. Maraming salamat, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Latha.